Hey everybody! Today I'm making a Christmas Village corner shelf tree. And here I'm just laying out my lines. This is at 6 foot by 2 foot, and then I draw a line diagonal across that, and that's going to give me my two back pieces. I find it's easier if I actually draw the lines to use my saw track that I built. Check it out, folks, my homemade redneck saw track by Festus. It actually works really well. It cuts a nice straight line, and there's not too much tear out as long as you go real slow and use a good sharp blade. Just no way that I could safely cut this on my job site table saw. So I cut it all out with a skill saw.
You can edit that out, right?
Oh heck no, that's definitely going in. You should be able to get this entire project made out of this 3/4 of a sheet of plywood. Now it's time to cut the shelves. They're radiused on the front, so you need to find your favorite circle cutting method. I use this jig that I made. And on the smaller pieces, I just use my little jigsaw and sanded them smooth. That's what most people would do anyway. Now I'm going to sand the whole thing down. It's a pre-sanded plywood that I was using, but you need to knock down all the edges so they're not so sharp. Now I'm just laying out where each shelf is going to be. The pieces I'm cutting now will be the shelf supports. These are cut at 1.5 inches. I'm choosing to glue and brad nail these onto the shelves, but you could attach them to the back pieces if you'd like. These support pieces don't go all the way to the back corner because I'm going to cut a notch out for the Porcelain Village are lit up and they have power cords, so they need a cord to be able to fit through the back end of this. Here I have my shelf clamped to the back side, and now I'm drilling through. You have to make sure that your shelves are nice and square, and then drill them both at the same time, and that way everything lines up perfectly. Now I'm cutting a 1.5 inch hole. I have the two back pieces clamped together so I can drill one hole through, and this is where the cord will go through the back, and I have it at the same level as the support bracket, so you can't really see this hole from the front. And this is what it looks like when it's all put together. This is what I was talking about, getting the cord through the back. It sits just below the level of the shelf. Now I'm making a little block, and this will go on the very bottom shelf towards the front, and it's just a little support block to give it some more stability, and in case any kid or anybody else steps on the shelf, it won't tip or cause the shelf to break or anything. So just a little bit extra support. All right, here they are, folks. The Christmas Village corner shelf tree. These are like really popular right now. Woodworking sites, YouTube, Pinterest, everywhere. These things, you know, people are decorating them, putting their porcelain villages on them, or just decorating them for Christmas. They make just great corner shelves any time of the year. It just depends on, you know, how you wanted to set them up. If you notice in the video, I did not spend a lot of time on hardware, how these are really mounted to the back pieces. And that's because there's many different ways. You could screw these in with some regular wood screws, glue and nails. But I decided to keep the shelf support piece attached to the shelf itself, and then connect them to the back piece with some 1/4-20 screws and with nuts on them. The reason I did that was to keep everything pretty lightweight. These side pieces, if you notice, I didn't use hinges. A lot of people use hinges to attach these two pieces together. There's really no reason to do that when the shelves are on. It's just to keep them together, you know, when you go to put them away. And with that, I wanted to keep each piece light. If you're an older person taking these out of storage or up some stairs, it might be easier to carry one side at a time and keep the weight down. So, you know, if they're both attached together and the shelf supports are attached to it, it starts to get pretty heavy and unwieldy. But the way that I did it, these all nest together, so when you do stack them, they don't take up a lot of room, and it keeps each one pretty light. You don't have to carry the whole stack. You can just carry one at a time, and then these are all separate. But that's really it. You can attach them any way you want. It just wasn't as important as building the whole rest of the build, which I made plans for. It's basically a cut sheet on how you would lay it out on your piece of plywood. Each one of these uses about 3/4 of a piece of plywood, and though that plan is for free and it's in this description below, so go ahead and click on that. It's a Google Drive. So with that, if you could subscribe to my channel, like the video, leave me a comment, all of that, I'd really appreciate it. Share the video. See if anybody else needs help building one. Maybe they can see how I built it and learn what not to do. I don't know. Anyway, Merry Christmas, everybody.